Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, students. How are you today?
Good morning.
Morning, Miss.
Good.
Yeah, I am so happy knowing that all of you are fine today. And as we all already know, that English is our most favorite subject in school. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we're going to learn English again, but before that, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know the story of Danau Toba?
Yes, we know.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have heard that.
I've heard that too.
Uh-huh. How about the story of Snow White?
I know with
I forget.
the girl
correct.
with short hair and the dress, the color are yellow and blue, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's it. So we're going to find out the stories like Snow White, Danau Toba, and Batu Menangis, or even Cinderella. What kind of texts are they? We're going to find it out. But first, let me share my screen. All right, this one. Can you see my screen clearly?
Yes.
Yes, Miss.
Great. So this is about narrative text. What is actually a narrative text? A narrative text is an imaginative story to entertain people. So the objective or the goal is simple. It's just to entertain people, to make people happy or to make people feel something. Example of narrative texts are folklore, folktale, fairy tale, fable, and legend. Folklore, folktale are basically just the same. They are stories that is inherited from your mother, and then your mother got it from your grandma got it from your great-great-grandma. Fairy tale is like the story of princesses and then mermaids and so on. And about fable is the story about animals. So the characters are all animals who can talk. Yeah. And legend, yeah, like Danau Toba, Batu Menangis, Timun Mas, and many more. It could be a story that is made upon a site, a historical site like Prambanan, the story of Roro Jonggrang. It's in Prambanan historical site, right? So that includes the legend. All right, now we're going to discuss about the generic structure of narrative text. And I have an acronym here, Oncom Reda. This is very Indonesian, but since my students are all Indonesian, so I guess that's okay to use an Indonesian acronym here. To make you remember what are the generic structures of a narrative text easier, you can only remember Oncom Reda. Orientation, complication, resolution, and coda or reorientation. Well, orientation is the introduction or the background of the story. So it's like the opening of the story. Complication is when the story gets to its climax, gets to the problem of the story. What is the problem? What is the climax? Again, I repeat the same words. And then for the resolution is how the climax or the problems are solved. And then reorientation or coda, well, this is optional actually, is the moral value. Yeah, we can say the moral value of the story. What can we learn from the story? Right. What is this? So this is not included to my PowerPoint actually. This one, language features. There are some characteristics of language, language characteristics in narrative text. The first one it uses past tense. Verb to, yeah, of course, it uses verb to for past tense, like killed, drunk, and then what else? Can you guys please give me some examples of past verb or verb to?
Like came.
Came,
Come, sorry,
yeah.
come,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
then past, right?
Ah, right. Thank you, Ria. And the second one, the language characters of narrative text, it uses adverb of time, like once upon a time, one day, and long time ago, and etc. Well, actually, I I did a typo here. Okay, never mind. And then the third one, it uses time conjunction, like when, and then, suddenly, and then specific character like Cinderella, Sangkuriang. So Cinderella and Sangkuriang are specific characters, right? The characters are what? Are someone or an animal, yeah, that are not around us. Well, that's because it's imaginative. There is no real life of Cinderella, right? I mean, Cinderella isn't real, I guess. Yeah. So that's why Cinderella and Sangkuriang becomes a specific character in narrative text. And then the fifth one is narrative text involves action verb like kick, walk, run, and punch, for example. Or what else? Can you please give me another example of action verb? Anyone?
Action verb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like climb,
Climb,
eat,
yeah. Mhm,
drink,
mhm.
and then swim.
Ah, thank you so much, Hukama. Yeah, thank you so much. What's that's an exceptional examples. And then the last one, the characteristic of language in narrative text is it uses direct speech. For example, like she said, "But I love you so much." Ah, it is optional actually. Not all narrative text has or involve direct speech or dialogue. We can say direct dialogue like this, but ideally there should be direct speech like this. It is indicated by what? The colon. Oh, what? How do we say tanda petik in English? I forgot. Anyone knows? Quotation. Ah, sorry. I asked myself and I answer it myself. Okay. It is indicated by this quotation, right? And this one, I have an example of a narrative text. The title is Cinderella. Okay, who is willing to read the story? Who wants to read the story? Who wants to try? Medina, are you still with me?
Okay, let me. Aksha, Miss.
Okay. Rianafi. Oh.
Okay. Cinderella.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl called Cinderella. She lived with her stepsister and stepmother. They were very bossy. She had to do all the housework. One day, an invitation to the ball came to the family. Her stepsisters did not let her go, so Cinderella was very sad. The stepsister went to ball without her. Fortunately, the good fairy came and helped her to get the ball to the ball. At the ball, Cinderella danced with the prince. The prince fell in love with her, then he married her. They lived happily ever after.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Rihanna. So from this text, we can identify the generic structure of the text. So the orientation. The orientation is the first paragraph of this story. Well, it is not always the first paragraph of the story. It could be only the first sentence of the story or the first two sentences of the story. But in this story, the orientation is on the first paragraph. Once upon a time, blah, 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 blah. It shows the background of the story. It introduces the story to the reader. What is the story about actually in general? And then we can see the complication here. One day, an invitation to the ball came to the family. Her stepsisters didn't let her go, so Cinderella was very sad. Well, this is problems, right? This is the climax. This is what makes the story is interesting. And then going down to the resolution, fortunately, the good fairly came. This is how the climax or the problem is being solved. So there is a resolution here. And we don't see coda here. There is no moral value of the story in this brief example. All right, the rabbit and the turtle. Now I'm going to read the story. And I want to ask you later on which parts are included to orientation, complication, and resolution. One day, a rabbit was boasting about how fast he could run. He was laughing at the turtle for being so slow. Much to the rabbit's surprise, the turtle challenged him to a race. The rabbit thought this was a good joke and accepted the challenge. The fox was to be the umpire of the race. As the race began, the rabbit raced way ahead of the turtle, just like everyone thought. The rabbit got to the halfway point and could not see the turtle anywhere. He was hot and tired and decided to stop and take a short nap. All this time, the turtle kept walking step by step. He never quit, no matter how hot or tired he got. He just kept going. However, the rabbit slept longer than he had thought and woke up. He could not see the turtle anywhere. He went at full speed to finish line, but found the turtle there waiting for him. All right, so this is the story of the rabbit and the turtle. Have you ever heard this story before? Kid's story.
I have heard this story, Miss.
Yeah. Do you think that's interesting? I mean, the story is interesting, Medina?
I think so.
Ah, okay. And now can you please show me which one is orientation, complication, and resolution?
Okay, I try, but if I make mistake, just comment me, okay, Miss?
All right, of course.
Pardon. Okay, for the first is the orientation, right?
Mhm.
The orientation is started with one day until so slow. Is it right?
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Good job. Go on to the complication.
The complication, okay. Miss, I don't know the difference between the what complication?
Yeah, huh? Complication is
and
resolution.
Resolution. Okay, what is that?
Okay, so the complication is when the story begins to reach the problem or until the climax of the story, where resolution is how the problem or the climax in the story is being solved. Now, do you get the point?
I see. Okay, I understand. So for the complication, it started with the rabbit got to the
The
halfway
rabbit
point,
got to the halfway.
Mm-hmm. And then the
and
resolution?
the resolution is, however, until waiting for him.
I see. Thank you so much, Medina. Thank you for the answer. Right. I guess that you have already understand about narrative text in general. And here, I have a spoiler for your homework, and you have to do it at home and then submit it to me next week. So this will be your homework. I will send it to our WhatsApp group. All right. So
All right,
thank
Miss.
you. Thank you for joining the class today. And I am so happy that you guys learned something in our meeting today. So, good morning and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, Miss, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.